It's Sunday morning and time for Midlands Matters on WWNQ, Forest Acres, Columbia, Lexington, a local program featuring discussion of the news and issues that matters to the Midlands from 94.3 The Dude and our news partner, ColaDaily.com.
Good morning and welcome to Midlands Matters. I'm your host, Tyler Ryan, on this Sunday morning. And did you know that heart disease is the number one cause of death in the United States, killing nearly 787,000 people annually? That's a big problem and a big risk. Thankfully, we've got some friends that their mission is to help heart disease and help push it away and keep us healthy. Of course, we're talking about the American Heart Association. Joining me this morning from American Heart Association here in the Midlands, Valerie Bridges, the executive director, as well as the CEO of Colonial Life, Tim Arnold. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Valerie, let's start with you. Let's talk about heart disease just off the top. Those numbers are staggering. The number one killer. My goodness.
I know. It is the number one killer of all Americans, also the number one killer of South Carolinians, and heart defects are the number one cause of infant deaths. So it's pretty staggering.
Are anything with heart disease, is there anything that we do that causes it? You know, things like Alzheimer's, you can't control. Lung cancer, you smoke 2 packs a day, your chances of getting lung cancer are pretty high.
Right.
What about heart disease? What is causing that?
I think the scary thing about heart disease is 80% of it is preventable.
Mm-hmm.
And so people that take care of their bodies, eat healthy, exercise, do what we're supposed to do,
right,
can prevent heart disease most of the time. It's that 20%.
It's that easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is crazy. And isn't it also a lot more prevalent in women than men?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I think it's doesn't care who it focuses on.
Right.
It just depends on how you take care of your body.
Just looking at the heart. And of course, talking about exercise, the annual Heart Walk is coming up, which is a great big event. And that's why Tim Arnold is here from Colonial Life. And Colonial Life is partnering with American Heart for this huge event as well.
Absolutely. Colonial Life has a long history of supporting the community through education, through the arts, through health. And this event certainly lets us sponsor and support 2 of those initiatives. Education, more Americans need to be aware of the statistics you just shared with us, Tyler.
Right.
As you said, heart disease is the number one killer of Americans and South Carolinians. And we want to be sure that we're promoting awareness. We're also very interested in promoting health. Mm-hmm. At Colonial Life, we do a number of things to promote the health and well-being of our own employees, including things like walking treadmills that people can use while they're working with their laptops. We're doing a lot around our cafeteria and helping them create more nutrition information so people can make smart choices in the cafeteria. We're encouraging people to use the stairwells instead of taking the elevators. So there's a lot of things like that we all believe we can do that where little things add up and make a big difference.
Right. And I think that's a great point. It is the walking up the stairs. A lot of times I've seen desks now where you stand up, and even just that is going to get your heart pumping a little bit, which is better than just sitting in a chair, on your butt all day typing on a keyboard.
Tim has one of those desks.
That's right. Yeah, that's a great point. We use sit-stand desks throughout our company, and we encourage people to stand as often as they can.
Right. Sitting
is, and a lot of people say sitting is like the new cancer. You can't spend 8 hours sitting and feel like you're going to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Sure. And, my dad, and he's passed a long time ago, but he had heart attacks and always had heart issues. And I remember he was less than active, but it really was his diet. And I remember when I was a kid, he would have, he'd have a bagel and he'd put half a stick of butter on a bagel. And I'm like, God. Mm-hmm. And, you wonder why the health goes down. You can't eat like that and expect your ticker to keep ticking.
Well, I think about my own children. I mean, we ate white bread growing up. My children's never tasted white bread.
Wonder Bread, come on.
Yeah, all they have is wheat. So I think we're making those changes, but we just got a long way to go.
Right.
One of the other sponsors of the Heart Walk is Carolina Nutrition Consultants, and we make them available to our employees as well. I met with them yesterday, and I felt like I had a pretty decent diet overall, and I learned there's a lot that I can do to do a better job with diet as well.
Sure, and that goes across the way. You talk to a lot of trainers. And health, of course, is not just your heart, it's your overall body. But, you talk about wanting that great body, the six-pack abs, and there's that old saying that the good abs are not made in the gym, they're made in the kitchen. And it starts with your eating habits before we even start exercising to, try to get that body going and not wrap that heart full of nonsense.
That's right.
Well, let's talk about the Heart Walk. This is a great big event. Every year it's happening right out by the Colonial Life Arena, and it's such a cool event. I say 5 million people come. It's probably a little high in the guess, but it feels like 5 million people.
It's between 5,000 and 6,000.
Close enough to a million.
Yeah. So it's a family fun event. It's free. Everybody come out. It's a 3.6-mile route. So goes over the Gervais Street Bridge through Casey and back over the Blossom Street Bridge back into downtown Columbia. And it's a pretty scenic route.
Sure. And it's a walk, right? It's not a run.
Exactly. It's a walk.
Big difference for me. I'm just not a runner. I just can't do it. I'll walk all day long, but to run for the sake of running is a tough thing for me to do. But you get motivated, even if in that case, it sounds like a long time, a 3-mile walk, but you've got 4,000 friends standing around you. That's kind of motivating to keep on going, right?
Right. And there's an expo area that opens at 8 a.m. Where a lot of our sponsors have tents and are doing healthy activities for the walkers that come out and the participants that come out. So this year, Nephron, our Life is Why sponsor, will be teaching people hands-only CPR. That's our big...
Hands-only CPR. Tell me about that.
So what we've discovered is that just doing a hands-only push on the chest compressions and not doing mouth-to-mouth is better than nothing. And so we really want to teach all Americans how to do hands-only CPR because we feel that bystander CPR will save lives. Sure.
Well, see, it certainly does. But it is, especially today's day and age, people are maybe more hesitant to slap their lips on someone else, especially a stranger laying on the ground, right?
Exactly. So hands-only to the beat of Staying Alive, ironically.
To the beat of Staying Alive.
Yes.
So the Bee Gees in your head.
Exactly.
And the Lord in your hands, helping the heart.
That's right. That's exactly
what
right.
I just did there.
That's great. That's great.
I put that on a T-shirt.
Okay.
I think we got it
Bee Gees
done.
in your head.
That's right. There you go. Tell me about the history of the American Heart Association. You guys are based in the Midlands, but obviously it's an international agency, an organization.
We are. We started in 1924. 9 doctors came together and formed this organization, and now we're the largest heart organization in the world. Our main priority is funding research to try to determine what causes heart disease and that 20% that's heredity, and the largest nonprofit heart health organization in the world right now.
And how are you funded?
By donors, all donors.
Really?
Yes. Here in the Midlands, we have 3 events that raise dollars: Heart Walk, Go Red for Women Luncheon, and Heart Ball.
Right.
But we also have just individual donors that leave us money after they pass away or give large gifts throughout the country. Sure.
And of course, there's also corporate partners like Colonial Life, Tim.
Absolutely.
You guys are a good sponsor as well with American Heart. And it sounds like your initiatives with your employees alone. How many employees do you guys have here?
Here in Columbia, we have 1,200, and then we have about another 10,000 throughout the U.S.
Good gracious!
Yeah, it's a pretty big company.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of standing desks, is what
absolutely,
absolutely. I'm saying. What other things do you guys do? And is there you've already kind of alluded to some of your initiatives to get your employees up and moving and do what you can to stay healthy. I mean, that sounds like it's probably a company-wide effort.
It is, yeah. We encourage walking meetings, especially when the weather's nice, and just go out and have a walk and do the meeting there versus in a conference room. I mentioned earlier our attempt to get people into the stairwell. So we put inspirational quotes on the risers on the stairs. We put inspirational posters in there. We let people know how each step burns a couple of calories. And so we're trying to educate people there and keep them aware as well. Going back to the Heart Walk itself, one of the things I love about this year's campaign is the theme, and it's asking people to think about their why. And for me, my why is my family. There is a history of heart disease in my family. I had an uncle who passed away very early from heart attack playing tennis. Strokes are very prevalent in my family, and I want to be around for as long as I can to enjoy my family, and certainly a big part of the reason I'm a part of this program this year.
Sure. Speaking with Valerie Bridges from the Executive Director of the American Heart Association here in the Midlands, and Tim Arnold, the CEO of Colonial Life on Midlands Matters, talking about heart disease, the Heart Walk, the big AHA Heart Walk happening on April 1st. You can get more information at coladaily.com, 943thedude.com, and of course, my favorite website you need to check out, and that is midlandsheartwalk.org. A lot of websites, but a lot of great information. What other educational things could people do really to kind of learn about heart disease and the potential they have in their own maybe family history or their diets?
I think knowing your numbers, knowing those, cholesterol numbers, your sugar numbers, everything like that will keep you in good heart health and keep you aware of what you need to change in your diet or add physical activity or whatever. Because research shows that 30 minutes of physical activity really reduces blood pressure and increases your overall heart health to be healthier.
So tell me why it is we watch those numbers, because we all hear about it, lower your blood, your cholesterol, your blood pressure. Why does all that impact? What does that mean?
Well, cholesterol has a tendency to block the arteries in your heart, which causes your heart to slow down or causes high blood pressure. So that's why knowing your cholesterol matters. So
you have to get checked. And then that comes right back to your diet too,
Absolutely.
Right? And that can be impacted by exercise?
Yes, so drastically. Like I just said, with 30 minutes of activity a day, research shows just 30 minutes a day can reduce the blood pressure and overall heart health.
And the research and the activity doesn't necessarily have to be going to the gym, like Tim was saying with his folks at Colonial Life. Is just standing up and sitting down. It's going up a set of stairs, walking from the parking lot to the office. It doesn't have to be necessarily a huge thing, right?
Right, and something great Tim does. He might not like me to say this, but he surprises his employees in the stairwells and gives them gifts, little Circes, if he sees them walking up and down the stairs, like a Fitbit or something like that. He'll surprise them. And so I think that shows great initiative and shows that he cares about his employees too.
So Tim gives away Fitbits in the stairwell. So the question I have for you, Tim, is do I have to work there, and can I just spend my days walking up in the hall looking for you?
It helps to work there, Tyler, but we have openings.
Because I'm just saying, I would hang out for a Fitbit. I'd hang out in the stairwell
just
for
go
a little
up
while.
and down all day, right?
Just walk all day.
Wait for Tim Arnold.
Just walk all day long. How can folks get involved with the American Heart Association if they want to? So obviously donations. We talked about that, either corporate or private. But are there other opportunities for people to get involved? If heart disease has touched them and their family. Some folks get passionate about these kinds of things.
Absolutely. If you go to heart.org, it will connect you to our local office. We have tons of volunteer opportunities and different ways for local people to get involved.
Volunteers and things like that. Mm-hmm. That is great stuff. All right, so give me the details on the Heart Walk. I know the time. I know it's April 1st. I know it's 3.5 miles or 3 miles, give or take. Tell me how folks can get involved in actually the day itself leading up to the 1st. So
I would go to www.midlandsheartwalk.org for all details, any things that Tyler didn't hound in on. And you can register there. If you register for the Heart Walk, we will send you email updates so you know exactly anything that's going on that day. You don't necessarily have to register. You can show up that day between 8 and 9 right outside Colonial Life Arena, like Tyler mentioned, and just get excited to come join us.
How much is it to get a team together if you want to come out and walk? How much is it going to cost?
It's a free event, a free family fun event.
See, I like that. I knew the answer to that question. I just wanted to hear those words out loud. I love the word free. Of course, that event, it's free because of sponsors like the Colonial Life. What other sponsors do you guys have?
Tim mentioned Carolina Nutrition Consultants. Mm-hmm. We also have Nephron as our local Life is Why CPR sponsor. Blue Cross Blue Shield, SCANA, tons of sponsors here in the Midlands.
Everyone who's anyone is going to be out there is what you're saying.
That's exactly right.
Is it too late for corporations to still sponsor? If I own, Tyler's... I don't know, Tyler's... Bed and breakfast. There you go.
Not at all.
I totally want to own a bed and breakfast. Just as an aside, Newhart was my favorite show growing up. Remember Bob Newhart?
Nice.
He owned the inn in Vermont. Totally wanted to do that. Anyway, go ahead.
Larry, and your other brother, Larry.
Yes. Yeah, well, it was Larry, Daryl, and Daryl, but close enough.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so that not too late. Reach out. Again, go to Midlands Heart Walk. Email us. We'll get in touch with you.
The other thing for employees to take advantage of, many employers have a matching gifts program. And so as people contribute to the American Heart Walk or other charities, they can take advantage of their employer matching that contribution.
That's easy. And guys, just one of the stats, 65% of adults are overweight or obese. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're as big as a house. Overweight, that's a number, and I guess it's probably an esoteric number, but certainly, I think everybody could stand to have a little exercise, even the bean poles.
Absolutely. Just getting that heart pumping and keeping it healthy.
Speaking with Tim Arnold, the CEO, the grand poobah of Colonial Life, and of course, Valerie Bridges, the executive director of the American Heart Association here in the Midlands. So the Heart Walk, the big event, and this is a cool event too. If you get out, it starts about 8 o'clock. And having been there a few times, it's a really neat event. There's music playing. There's some competitions. Somebody comes in and warms us all up. There's 4,000 people all exercising, doing Zumba, right?
Right. We have somebody that comes on and warms the walkers up before they start their 3.5 mile route. And it's pretty exciting to see such a crowd engaged and all doing the same exercises. So.
That's right. Guys, I want to thank you both for coming in, sharing the information about the heart disease, the American Heart Association, and of course, the Heart Walk. And Tim, certainly with your company, your commitment to not only the American Heart Association, but your own employees, your initiative, because that's resources that your company might want to spend somewhere else on something for them. But the fact that you spend that money giving back to those folks really talks to your commitment.
Yeah, thank you, Tyler. We like to talk about Colonial Life cares a lot, and we care not only for our employees, but for the community, and that's the reason that we make pretty significant investments in community health, education, arts.
I love it. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for coming in this morning. Once again, MidlandsHeartWalk.org is the direct link. We'll put links for you at 943thedude.com. April 1st, it's a Saturday morning, Colonial Life Arena out there. Join you and 3,999 other friends.
Thank you, Tyler.
If my math is right.
Thank you,
Tim and
Tyler.
Valerie, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Midlands Matters. For local news and information every day, listen for the hometown headlines from ColaDaily.com and 94.3 The Dude.